Hey, sorry for the interruption, but we wanted to let you know that this week's episode is brought to you by Spotify for Podcasters. Really cool app. Josiah and I use it for every single show that we bring to you every week. You can edit podcasts right from your phone or computer, so you can start creating as soon as you log into the platform. You can easily distribute your podcasts to Spotify and everywhere else the podcasts are heard, just like we do every single week. You can also create video podcasts on Spotify, which is really cool. And of course, you can earn money like I'm doing right now by including ads and even podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free. There's no catch. We really love it. We use it every single week. So we encourage you to go download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started. All right, let's get back to the show.
On today's episode of the Print on Demand cast, we're going to talk about the psychology of buying online. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody, to the Print on Demand cast. So excited to be back with you for another episode of Print on Demand education and entertainment. Before we go any further, whatever you're listening to this on as far as platform goes, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, whatever that looks like, do us a favor. Share this episode, rate this episode, leave us a comment about this episode, rate the podcast. Greatly appreciated, because we're trying to make sure that the algorithms know that we're there and that people who need this information know that we are putting it out there. And who is we? Well, if you're new to the show, if you've listened to the show for any length of time, you know who we is. But if you're new, we is Travis Ross, co-captain of this show from Make Your Mark Design. How's it going, man? Happy Monday. How's the week starting for you so far?
Same way it always starts, it seems. You come in and you have kind of the things you got to do and deal with and check on, and a lot of messages to different team members. And got an email from Bulk Mockup that they're going to be putting out an update, and I think we're going to get that update sometime today, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
They'll be able to. So before, for instance, when we're creating like our coffee mug print files, you need the print on both sides. At least that's how we do it. Some people just do one-sided mugs, and that's fine. And since we do the print file on both sides, if it's the same thing on both sides, Bulk Mockup can put, you can put two smart objects there, and you can hit one on one side and hit the other one on the other side. The challenge was when those two sides were different. And so what would happen is you could run them all on one side, but then you couldn't run the opposite side, or you'd it'd literally go once, and then you'd have to set it all up again and do the next one. It doesn't make any sense. So you'd manually put them on there. Excuse me. So looks like with this update, it's going to be able to do two separate mock-ups on the same print file, which will help with, different things like that, among other things. But I know that's just a bonus for you guys. That's not even the point of interest. That's just kind of how my Monday's gone so far. So anyway, I sent that to Tate, and he's going to look into that once we get the update and see if we need to change anything. But if you are doing multiple mock-ups, that's really, or multiple images, that's really, really cool. So excited about that. Other than that, typical Monday. How about you?
It's been a busy Monday. Had a meeting this morning, and just lots of fires to put out. A little peek behind the curtain for people who don't know. My job essentially is like a hiring coordinator, and hiring. The company I work for has 22 assisted living homes, and so I'm in charge of staffing all of those homes. This weekend, some people quit, some people put in their notice, so there's lots of openings. And so now it's my job to scramble and list all these things on Indeed and interview people. So my week is already looking absolutely crazy. But hey, it's part of the job. Otherwise, it's going good. I get to work from home, obviously, so it's all good, and had a good weekend. And that's it's good to go. So,
Cool.
yeah. So let's actually get into. You mentioned it already. You alluded to it, and it wasn't what you just mentioned because again, you said it was a bonus, and so that was a bonus point of interest. But now is time for the actual point of interest.
Well, howdy, partner. Welcome to the Point of Interest part of the POD cast. So grab your hat and hold on tight because we got some learning to do.
All right. So I feel like, was it last week or a couple of weeks ago on the Point of Interest, we had something that was relatable, if not almost like this, what we're talking about. This is another step in the right direction when it comes to DTF. We have a major manufacturer who's actually making a DTF machine.
Yeah. Apparently, they announced it back in February that they were going to make it, which I totally missed. But I get the wait is over officially. Mimaki has actually released their first DTF printer. It's the TXF 150-75. And Josiah has a little video here, and you can see them unveiling it. You want to go ahead and just roll it, and
Sure.
we'll you can talk over it.
Sure.
All right, go for it.
All right. For those of you, there's no plate required. I'm going to narrate what's being said on the screen here. No weeding required. No pre-treatment. Basically detailing the benefits of DTF.
Right.
Voila. The DTF printer TXF 150-75. Proprietary thermal ink transfer uses eco cartridges with the degassing. This is going really fast. With Mimaki's core technology. Enables stable operation and beautiful output of fine details. The advantage of GTF is that it requires no special skills on the part of the... Well, I know that's true. After printing on film, hot melt powder is first applied to the film, then heat dried.
Yes, it is.
It's beautiful. A layer of transferable ink is formed on the film. The completed film is then applied using a heat press, which in this video, the heat press is massive, if that's to scale.
And the print placement is horrible.
Yeah, terrible. Everyone can create. It's possible to apply design on natural fibers and synthetic fibers, which of course we knew as well.
Again, DTF.
Another advantage to DTF. So there it is. A nice shot there at the printer itself, the DTF TXF 150. Is that equals 75? Is this a math problem that we're trying to solve?
I don't think so. I think it's just -75.
It's just
I think that's the width of
in the branding. They just split the line into the text.
Exactly.
Whatever, so clever.
It just makes it look cool. Yeah, it's cool that, again, a major manufacturer is kind of putting themselves out there into the DTF world. And so we dug in a little bit and found a few, tidbits of interest about this that you may, be interested in. You may not care at all, but that's okay. It's our show. So first of all, the Mimaki themselves, they're actually just releasing the printer. So there's no powder application machine that is made by Mimaki officially. However, I went to DTF Superstore and they are including a shaker machine in the package if you want it. So the printer itself is $18,995, which is, right along the same, kind of price range that I'm seeing other large scale DTF printers. If you want the shaker, it's a shaker additional to the machine. It's or to the printer, it's $24,995. Again, right in that same area that you were seeing a lot of people getting into it using, Chinese manufacturers that then were rebranded by kind of local DTF. Like I think DTF Superstore has a DTF Superstore branded machine, but I think it's literally they just threw their logo on something.
Right.
So, I mean, at least it's in line with what's already being sold as far as cost. It's pretty big. Like the print capability is like 31.5 inches, which is pretty wide.
Wow. Yeah.
So it can take 32-inch wide roll media. So it just rolls, and then it can, if you buy the shaker, it'll go right into the shaker. And then we're trying to figure out what inks it was using. And it looks like Mimaki they've said, hey,
Yes.
these are our specialty
proprietary.
inks.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. This is what we're going to charge you. It's where we make our money, is our specialty.
Right.
PhD 50 heat transfer pigment ink. They actually got their ink certified.
Which is cool.
Yeah. Boasting some features that have been a PITA for DTG printer owners. White ink circulations functions, the Mimaki circulation technology, features Mimaki's NCU nozzle check unit and a nozzle recovery system. So
it's got some features, I guess. And who knows if some of the other knockoff DTG had similar things, but I mean, being that it's Mimaki, they kind of know how to make printers, and they know that white ink typically has issues. And so they've got this circulation for the white ink for sure. And then they've got some type of a nozzle check unit and recovery system that they are at least purporting is, specific to Mimaki. But in the end, we were hoping that this bodes well for, DTF systems in the upcoming months and years from major manufacturers. It'd be really cool to start seeing an Epson, a Brother, and some of these other big manufacturers that do a lot of DTG printers. They're not far off from being able to do DTF. It's just a matter of, tweaking some stuff. And I mean, what do I know? It's real easy, Epson. You could
just you have to tweak a thing, and you hit the nozzle and the gimmick, and then you're good. And then we could have done this the entire time. For sure. But yeah, it's exciting. We'll put the link in the show notes to that has the video that we just showed you, and it's got some more kind of details just overall on the product as well. So be sure to check that out. But to Travis's point, hopefully this is a step in the right direction, because it was just January that we were in Long Beach. We were talking to Brandon Mills, and he was talking about how there's been no American manufacturers. And so it's mitigating a little bit of the risk in the decision making of getting into DTF if major manufacturers stateside are actually getting into producing machines. There's still risk, obviously, but you're at least have some stateside control on what's actually happening. So super exciting, and I'm sure we'll have more updates as time goes on the progression of DTF in the POD industry. Yeah,
I like how you use those two acronyms there.
DTF and POD, DTG, LMNOP. It's a lot of letters.
It is.
So let's go to the Emmy, which is the main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, the main event.
All right, as we mentioned on the top of the show, we're talking about the psychology of buying online. And it's no secret. I mean, obviously, if you're in the POD industry, even if you're thinking about getting into the print-on-demand industry, one of the reasons that you're thinking about doing that is because as well as we do, that the online shopping velocity has outpaced buying in person over the last several years.
Right.
Significantly. And here's some interesting facts from Forbes about e-commerce. 20.8% of all retail purchases are expected to take place online in 2023. By 2026, 24% of retail purchases are expected to take place online. Amazon currently accounts for 37.8% of e-commerce sales, the highest market share of all e-commerce companies.
Yeah, the interesting thing on that one, I mean, that is nuts. I mean, if every time somebody or 1/5 of all retail purchases are going to happen, in the world. And, Amazon is getting 2/5 of that 1/5, I mean, that's just absolutely insane. The one thing that was interesting on this, and we'll include this link in the show notes, but one thing that I thought was interesting, they were talking that Walmart and there was another Wish, I think maybe, they have the most visitors So they have more visitors than
Interesting.
Amazon. So which is really
They're just
kind of
not
goes towards our
closing those.
yeah, it goes towards our psychology of an online buyer. It kind of goes with that theme because
Yeah.
obviously Amazon has figured out how to convert those visitors better than some of these other companies, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
To continue with some of those trends, if you want to be ahead of online shopping trends, start selling on social media. This stuff blew me away.
Yeah.
992 billion was spent on social media commerce in 2020. Social media e-commerce is expected to reach 2.9 trillion by 2026. So that's 3x in 6 years. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And then this blew me away. Millennials shop on well, I don't know if it blew me away, but it says millennials shop on social media the most.
Yep.
In fact, this is what blew me away. 55% of people aged 18 to 24 in the United States have made a purchase on social media. That is,
It's wild.
that's very telling,
Yeah.
And if you're not selling on social media, maybe it's something to look into.
Yeah, absolutely. TikTok Shop, I know just kind of came to surface on TikTok. So a lot of content creators are selling their stuff, whether it's hot sauces or t-shirts or merch or whatever, through TikTok Shop, and you see Instagram Shop stuff all the time. T-shirt companies are setting up their storefronts on the Instagram side of things, which is crazy, which also just goes to it lends to the importance of making your site mobile friendly. 91% of people make online purchases using their smartphone. Mobile commerce sales are expected to account for 6% of all retail sales in 2023. So make sure, I worked with a guy years ago. He and I were I think we've talked about it, the kind of t-shirt line that was intended to kind of, satirize the professional wrestling industry and kind of poke fun at all of it. When designing the store for that shop, he said he only designed it in the cell phone mobile template view. He didn't care about what it looked like on a desktop. He's like, this is where everyone's going. So I don't care what it looks like on a desktop. No one's going to pull it up from there. So he was a little ahead of the curve of like, who cares? I'm just going to design it by what it looks like on the phone. So turns out he was right. So yeah, just some crazy, crazy stuff there. But there's reasons why people buy online in the first place.
Right.
First of all, being a huge selection and variety of products, which is why Amazon is so successful. They have everything, it seems. Physical stores, you're dealing with limited stock. Online stores have virtually endless stock of products, which we've talked about, especially in the print on demand game. Virtual inventory, virtual product. What that means is there is an endless supply, but overall, when it comes to e-commerce, it still seems like that, even if it's a hard good and it's not a t-shirt, there's just always a supply of these products. 63% of shoppers shop online because you can browse and select products as per your choice and latest trend. So some reasons, obviously we have 4 more to get to, but that's a big reason why people shop online, because there's just so much to choose from.
Yeah, so much variety. I mean, you never know what stock, your local Kohl's is going to have, or, your whatever, department store you want to choose. Well, they might have this amazing t-shirt or dress or whatever you want to buy, but they don't have your size. That's probably not going to happen online. And that's one of the huge benefits to shopping online. And that's one of the reasons that people buy online in the first place. And because they don't want to get to the store and then find their favorite item and it's not in their size, or they just don't have the selection that they would. Think about how many cell phone cases are for sale on Amazon. And I mean, you go to like a Walmart and there's a crap ton of cell phone cases there, but they don't have, 1%, half of a percent of the selection that you can find on Amazon for every single phone that you have ever owned or ever will own. They've got it all, so yeah, that's just one example of why that huge selection plays so importantly into the buying psychology of people who shop online.
Yeah. Number 2, convenience of not going to stores. Online shopping is simple. Add the mobile phone element to it, and it's even more convenient. 40% of shoppers believe it saves their time, and it is why people buy online. Around 58% of shoppers shop online because of the availability to shop online 24/7. It's like,
Right.
the 24/7 fast food restaurant, but online, essentially. Um,
Yeah.
no sales pressure in online shopping. I can attest, even as a salesman, I hated doing this to people, but there's no pressure to buy. There's no pressure to close. There's no one trying to talk you into anything. You can make your own decisions. You can do your own research, and then make the purchase. There's no crowds, and there's
Right.
no lines to wait in. I know personal experience. Every time I walk into a TJ Maxx with my wife and that line is wrapping around I'm just like, what we need here that important? Like, I need to
Right.
know. I know it's home goods, but seriously, do we need this? Because look how long that line is, and I don't want to stand in it. So it's a huge element of shopping online is not having to even worry about that. You just get what
Yeah.
you need from your couch, and it shows up if you're on Amazon in sometimes same day.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually going to skip down to, because this kind of goes right in line with what we called number 4 on our notes, Josiah.
Yeah.
But quick and easy product replacements and refunds. And obviously Amazon has trained us to at least trained us as consumers to be immediately okay with just getting our refund or getting a replacement or whatever it is. And that really goes along with kind of that convenience of not going to a store. Now I don't have to get in my car and go back and take it back.
Yeah.
I can just do it all on my phone and then, drop it off at a UPS store or have them pick it up or throw it in the mail or whatever. And then the money's automatically refunded right back to my card. So product replacement and refunds are super simple. And there's no additional cost of your time, really, because it's all, like I said, it's all done probably on your phone. And if you find like the product has defects, maybe there's a hole in the shirt somewhere, you can get a replacement, for especially like on Amazon, but even like on Etsy. Again, Amazon's trained our buying psychology to where most vendors are willing to work with you, particularly if there's a defect in the product. You can get a replacement really easy and a lot of times they'll just say, hey, keep it, throw it away. We'll send you out a new one. And that saves so much time. And, it can be done without talking to anyone most of the time, which I think in this, in our current culture, a lot of people don't really want to talk to people. I was sitting outside. This is aside, total aside. I was sitting outside a local bar / restaurant that's in my town. And I saw these young, probably, I don't know, young high school students. And there were 3 girls and they walked past me. And as they were opening, one of them said, I'm not going to talk to her. And the other one was like, I'm not either. I'm not ordering. You have to order. You're last. And so they didn't even want to talk to the waitress to put in their food order. And I think that's just very indicative of kind of the culture that we find ourselves in.
it's an indictment, I think, for sure, on what's happening. But I mean, you see like, Domino's, the app, obviously can order online, and then they release this feature that you can voice text your order on the app. And my nephew was like, dude, check this out. You can like just push a button and like speak your order into the phone. And I'm like, you know what else you can do? You just call somebody and do the exact same thing. And it's probably going to work way better than what you're trying to do. Just call them. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But to your point, quick and easy. And then also, discreet shipping or shipping or shopping, whichever one, but you can purchase items like undergarments or lingerie or something that you want to kind of protect your privacy, protect your choice from the public. Saves you embarrassment when you do that kind of shopping. And sometimes you can opt for discreet product packaging as well. So that when it shows up to your door, not everybody knows that you have a bottle of pills, if you know what I mean.
You go online shopping for bottles of pills often, Josiah?
Gummy vitamins, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So yeah, but that's obviously another big appeal to it. And then this one as well, this last one, clear information about product and vendors, which I think is kind of funny because to your point, what you said before we started recording is like, for clear information about my product, I can, when I'm in person, I can probably have more better information about it. Like, does it fit? And do I like the way it feels and all this kind of stuff. So, and then customer reviews and ratings, I look at that for sure on all of the products. I'm currently trying to shop, I'm upgrading my in-ear monitor system that I've been using for the last year and a half. And I'm trying to find a good budget friendly, not like super expensive option. And reading reviews is huge because I just need to know about the product that I'm getting or the vendor that I'm buying it from. And all of these things, the reviews, the clear information about products, the product itself amplifies the need of what we've talked about when it comes to excellent photos and accurate descriptions on your listings, and then getting those good customer reviews for your listing is a way to increase the chance that someone will buy from you because it makes a world of difference.
Right. Totally. That's I mean, we just had an episode on mock-ups last week talking about, making sure that your mock-ups look real, they look awesome, et cetera, et cetera. And all of this stuff. I mean, that's what people, are going there for. It was kind of interesting because I was like I like to go to a store and like touch it and feel it and try it on or whatever. But again, then I have to get in my car, then I have to talk to people, then I have to blah, 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 all the other reasons we've stated. But, and it might be even more inconvenient to get the wrong size of shoe and have to send it back and get a replacement online.
Yeah. That's
so kind of surprised me.
I was going to say as well about the easy return, the whole thing that we were talking about. As former Amazon sellers, we do know how crappy that is when people just do return stuff arbitrarily. Hey, I ordered these shoes for a friend's wedding and I wore them and I'm going to send them back because Amazon doesn't care about your business. And so good luck reselling these and scrubbing them with Gooby Gone because the wedding was in a forest and the cheese was leaking sap. So like, it's just a ridiculous thing you can do. And speaking of gummy vitamins, and I'm going to be completely transparent, I didn't even know this is a real thing. I know you sent me a picture of it, did not know that it was real. But
yeah, check it out.
PODcast multivitamin bear gummies, $12.95. So yeah, not only are we good for your business health, we got multivitamins, people, and we're just good for your overall health as well.
Yeah, I said this too because he said the multivitamin gummies.
Yeah.
It's actually a company that has reached out to us and asked us to be on their podcast about print-on-demand supplements. And so I just logged in and, checked it out, and it's super easy. Well, I mean, this is kind of I don't have really much information on it. I'll know more about it a little later after we've actually gone on the show, but I just went in and made a store and created a logo in Canva or a what do you call it? A label. And they had all the information there for me. And I just had to kind of, tweak the image and now we have print on demand cast multivitamin bear gummies. So
and it's important for everyone to know that no dad jokes were harmed in the making of this product. So
I had to put that on there.
We need to let everyone know that all the dad jokes are safe and they're all going to be okay. But yeah, so freaking heck, multivitamins. That's crazy. All right. So let's talk about some characteristics of online shoppers before we get out of here. There's 6 main types of online shoppers, maybe more, but 6 in this show. There could be 7. We just won't list it. You'll never know. So 6 main types of online shoppers, and each one has a different shopping habit. So we've got the bargain shopper. Now, roughly 80% of consumers are considered price conscious. These bargain shoppers are typically part of the millions of online shoppers who make plans for the Black Friday and the Cyber Monday and all of those kinds of things. They've got one mission, it's just to get the best deal. They will wait to buy something until it goes on sale. And shopping online is best for them because they can quickly compare prices on various websites and make sure they're getting the best deal. So I think if you had to assign this particular habit or this particular type of shopper to something, you could go eBay, obviously, because that's kind of looking for the best deal. You've got sites like Poshmark, which literally is just trying to find the best deal on clothing that people are selling, but also a little bit of Amazon. I mean, people shop Amazon all the time and price compare, and Prime Day is huge.
I was gonna say Prime Day.
So.
Yeah, all of those sales that I think they have 2 Prime Days this year, and then obviously Black Friday sales, Cyber Monday sales, all of those things are going to happen a lot on Amazon. So I think, in my estimation, a lot of bargain shoppers are on Amazon, but I don't think it's as much as maybe like, I think Walmart probably has a little bit more bargain shop, and definitely eBay. They're looking for the cheapest. And I have friends that sell on eBay a lot and send me screenshots of some of the communications that they get from some of the customers asking them to, hey, can you ship it this way so I can save, $2 on whatever? And it's like, no, this is my listing. You agreed to buy. Come on. But that's the mentality.
Busted.
Yep. That's definitely the mentality of the bargain shopper, is get it for what they can and go on to the next product and start, trying to find the next bargain.
The next one we have the researcher. Now, 81% of shoppers fall in this category, and there's going to be some overlap. I mean, because I think the bargain shopper is a researcher as well, obviously. But they'll conduct their own research online. It's important because they like to do their due diligence before making a purchase and not buy impulsively. I think I do that because I would rather not. I don't care if it's Amazon or not. I don't want to have to return it. Like, I don't want to have to go through that process. I just I'm the kind of guy that's like, well, it's not what I thought it was. I'll just give it away. Like, I just would rather not go through the return process. So they just want to make absolutely sure of what you're buying. And online shopping is better for them because obviously it's easy to compare multiple websites for the product that they're offering, and they can make the best decision based on the research that's available to them.
Yeah, it's basically what you're doing with your your in-ear monitors. In-ear monitors. Yeah. You're looking through reviews and you're looking to hear about other people's experience with these, different options, and you're just researching the crap out of it because, I mean, it's a big purchase. I may not make as, a lot of people might not go through and really research which, t-shirt they want aside from the design that's on front of it, or on the front of it. So it may not be, as big of a deal. However, if you're on Etsy and you're selling Bella Canvas 3001 versus a very similar shirt that's, on a Gildan or something, that feels like cardboard, it's not even the soft style, it's just the garbage tee that, the lowest possible price for the store owner, then maybe that does come into account, and the researcher finds that information and goes with the, maybe they're a budget bargain shopper researcher and they go with the cheaper one, or they're actually like looking for that best quality garment. And so while it may not on the surface look like the researcher is somebody that's going to be really digging into your listings, I wouldn't chance it because I'll bet they are. I bet they are comparing, if not just price, they're comparing quality. They're comparing your listing photos. They're comparing your storefront, if you're like on Etsy, potentially, they just want to feel good about their purchase. And the way they feel good is they do research. And that's the truth on all of these. All of these people want to feel good about their purchase. And the way they do that, the way they or kind of interact with your store based on their kind of personality and the way they shop makes them feel good. So the price shopper, or the bargain shopper, he gets a good price that makes him feel good. The researcher finds that piece of information that, could be a picture, could be a phrase, whatever, that makes them feel good. and confident in their purchase. And that's the same with all of these.
Yep.
So keep going, Josiah.
Yeah, the next one's the man on a mission, which is typically my approach when I go to in-store places like in-person shops. The man on a mission, this type of online shopper, goal-oriented and goes to buy a specific product to fulfill the specific need. They want to be able to find exactly what they're looking for without any hassle. And online shopping makes sense because it's convenient. Time is everything. Time is money. Time is the most precious asset. You know what I mean? So they just want to make sure they're not spending all of their time researching. Do they know what they want? They're in, they're out, it's done. So, I mean, obviously, like Amazon comes to mind for this one. They got the buy with one click or buy now. Like you don't even have to you just set it all up, or the subscribe and save. You can buy it once and you'll know that thing, if it's like a personal item, a deodorant, a grocery item, supplements, whatever, it's just going to show up once a month. You don't have to do it again. You know what you're paying. You set it and forget it. And it's just going to arrive like clockwork, and it's easy and it's done with. So that's why online shopping makes sense for that particular buyer.
I can also see this as, oh crap, mom, Mother's Day is in 2 weeks. I got to get her something. And they go and they just look, and they go, funny gift. And then your mug pops up and they go, oh, that's perfect. Bam, in the cart, paid for, done. They just, and it could be, a birthday, it could be a holiday, it could be whatever, but they know that they have to get a gift, and they know that Amazon has a bunch of them. And so it's a perfect place. I think using Amazon as kind of the example for this one is perfect.
Yeah, for sure. And for the next one too, impulse buyer. I mean, I think we've all made impulse purchases on Amazon. It's like, oh, look at that, especially Prime Day. But it's the complete opposite of the researcher. It's like flying by the seat of your pants. You just you're basically, your approach to shopping is like when you're in line at a store for the checkout and you have all those impulse items around you and you just buy one. That's perennially your approach to online shopping if you're this person. Very emotionally based. So this type of shopper is pretty common. Like 84% of all shoppers claim to have made impulse purchases at some point in their lives, which I feel like the remaining percentage are all liars. But like it's just whether they're bored, upset, lonely, they just buy before thinking. They buy. It's retail therapy. It's basically what that is. And so online shopping is convenient, and a lot of online shopping is triggered by emotional states. So it's all the things we've said before: quick, convenient, urgency, creates urgency, easy checkout process, like all that kind of stuff, all kind of lends itself to why it's online shopping is good for the impulse buyer.
Yeah. And this, it's definitely the opposite of the researcher, but, like for me, I'm thinking, if I'm just buying some guitar picks, I might be more of an impulse buyer because it's a low ticket item.
Low dollar item.
But if I'm buying my in-ear monitors, I'm probably more of a researcher. So price probably does play a little bit of a role here on how impulsive you're actually going to be. Now that, that's completely dependent on your situation in life too. If you have a lot of money, your big ticket item is going to be different than my big ticket item, so that's just the way it goes. I did like the idea or the thought about, a lot of online stores, especially when you get in the Shopify world and you start putting in apps and things like this, and the countdown clock that you see at the top of a lot of pages, it's like, this is available at a sale until then, and then it's not, or, they're like, I'm going to soon raise the price on this, this print on demand course or whatever. And they never do.
So I am, I love hats, as you can see my hat collection here, but Lids, New Era, all of these hat stores, shops, that I kind of go browse, what's new as far as, Buffalo Bills hats or Colorado Avalanche hats or whatever. They'll always say the discount code, just 25%, 35% off for this amount of time. It's going away. And then it ends on this day. And then I'll go back after that day. And there's another 35% off code that ends in another, it's like, it's just that urgency of like, oh man, I'm never going to get 40% off again. It's like, well, no, just wait a week. You might get 45, you might get 35, but either way, you're going to get a discount. So it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because that one kind of jumps into the next one when you're talking about specific types of hats.
Right.
You are what's called a loyalist.
Yeah.
And 75% of shoppers kind of fall into this category, belonging to up to 10 different loyalty programs. So this is everything from, your Chipotle burrito card to your Starbucks card to your, it's not like my Maker Mark Design Print on Demand store card. It's not that type of thing.
Right.
However, if you are using a brand in your print on demand, in your print on demand shop, or, you're kind of in your business, the loyalist can be something that or that type of buyer can be something that you focus on, because you can get repeat buyers, by using email marketing and things like that. These kind of buyers really like to buy from brands they know, love, and trust.
Yeah.
And so how do you create that love and that trust? Well, it's email marketing. It's being in front of them, being top of mind.
Yep.
And it's really important for people who are doing brands to think about this type of person. Like a lot of people who are just throwing every, spaghetti against the wall as far as designs and just are in every niche and every product, it might not be as important, because it's probably hard to find somebody who's going to rebuy from you unless you have a brand or something memorable about your design, that they're going to come back. Otherwise, why would they?
Yeah.
So it's not to say that it's completely irrelevant. We have a line of designs that are all in a specific niche that have all kinds of different, there's probably 900 or 1,000 of these designs, and they're all based in this one niche that specific people are buying. And we have a lot of repeat buyers just because they know that they can get, maybe a different spin on this particular niche, on maybe a different product or a different whatever, from where they got it last time. And they're like, oh yeah, that one store had a ton of these. Let me go back there. So that's one way that the spaghetti at the wall type of person can still be targeting a loyalist and capitalize on this type of buyer.
Yeah, for sure. And I have the Chick-fil-A rewards app. Anytime I go to Chick-fil-A, I scan it. Why? Because I want to get points. Because that free thing that I spent way more money than it would be just to buy that thing, but I get it for free. So somehow psychologically, I think I'm winning. I scan it every time I go to Chick-fil-A. I've purchased from Disciple Threads, and I open up the package. There's a sticker and a handwritten note from the owner saying thank you.
Wow.
Which is another thing where it's like, oh wow, that's awesome. I'm going to go back to these guys. There's a channel on TikTok, Elijah's Extreme Hot Sauce. It's a father and son hot sauce company that was made, and this dude has amassed millions of followers and millions of followers that are loyal to their brand, because he'll do videos of him packing each hot sauce order, and then he'll say, because you asked me to film me packing your order, I'm going to upgrade you to actually the hot variety pack that's the hottest sauces we have, and you're going to get that for free. And he tells a story, and it's really, really cool. Yeah. He's bringing the customer behind the scenes, they get to watch their order being packed, and they get a free upgrade with it. So like that kind of stuff will also really trigger and kind of bond people to you. And so social media is a great way of doing that as well.
For sure.
So the last one, the negotiator. Now this is eBay, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Sure. Not the buy it now, but the auction style thing.
Yeah, exactly. The old school when eBay was first invented. It's encompassing roughly 20% of all consumers. This type of online shopper is known for trying to get the best deal through negotiation. Also, Poshmark. I've already mentioned that, but I get a lot of my shoes through Poshmark. So I'll just go through, and if someone has it listed for $50, I'll offer them 30 or whatever, just to see if I can get them to come down on the price. And that's what that whole platform is for.
Right.
But the main goal is to get a business to lower its price on a product that they want, so they can win when they make a purchase. Well, these shoes are actually valued at this much, but I offered the dude $30 and he bit, so I got it. And so this is a great bargain. And so usually these shoppers have a secret tactic under their wing. When they don't like a price on a website, they fill in all the details, they abandon their cart, and they wait for an email with a promo code. That's
coming.
their win in the world of online shopping, and it makes them feel like they've accessed an exclusive privilege, which that's pretty cunning. That's smart. Yeah.
It is. It
Free
is.
tip.
Yeah.
Use it.
Yeah. I mean, my Etsy shop, when somebody favorites something, it's going to send them something out, an automatic coupon. I'm sure most of our listeners, if you have an Etsy shop and you haven't set that up, you're probably going to now.
Yeah.
But some people, luckily it's only 20% of all consumers, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of, some people they kind of know that trick. They know if I favorite this, I'm probably going to get an email with a coupon code or something like that. So that is kind of a pro tip. But yeah, the negotiator definitely, that's why Priceline was invented, for travel. Name your price. Yeah. And so people can put in how much they want to pay for it, and maybe they'll get a good deal, maybe they won't. But yeah, that's interesting. So all of these types of people make up all of the people that are coming to your shop. And so a savvy business owner, a savvy print on demand business owner would kind of take a list or, re-listen, take notes, figure this out, like kind of write down these and see how your listings, particularly on whatever platform you're on, are catering to these different types of people who may find your shop, may find your products. Is there any reason to be loyal to your print on demand products? Maybe not. And maybe that's one you just throw out and say, that's not the strategy I'm going for. So I'm not worried about that person. But if there's some easy ways that you can kind of cater to some of these people by just tweaking a few things, it's good to understand the psychology behind the people that are actually out there shopping. And it's interesting because we all fall into these categories. Yet we don't think about it from the other side, from the business side. When people come to our store, well, what are they? And it's just very important to know who your buyers are, know how they think, so you can use some of the same psychology to actually make them happy, make them trust you, make them pleased with their purchase. So this isn't just, filler content. There's actually some things that, you can like look at in your own business and see how you are able to, provide these services or these emotional, psychological triggers even to get the sale.
Yeah, absolutely. You just got to do your research, really. And you can do further. I mean, we'll have the links in the show notes, but you can do further research on these different styles, different the psychology to it and how to leverage it. But you just have to really, dig in, do the research, watch, over the history of your store. Have you seen certain trends? And just really dig into those details and study the history of it. And speaking of studying history, not many people know this, but in the 1800s, cowboys used to hang a lantern from their horse saddle to help them find their way at night. Did you know that?
That makes sense, but no, I mean, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the earliest example of satellite navigation.
I'll have to ask my accountant about that.
Time for the weekly dad joke.
I feel so sorry for all the people who are listening audio and they're like, what the heck was that?
Well, who was wheezing? It was a clip from Dinner with Schmucks. So go check that out. Zach Galifianakis wheezing. So, which by the way, if you haven't seen the Beanie Bubble on Apple TV, the new movie with him about the founder of Beanie Babies, great.
I want to see that.
He does a great job. Yeah. Speaking of eBay, was a huge part. Obviously, his business blew up because his online, one of the girls I worked for him convinced him to put his stuff on eBay. And that's how Beanie Babies initially just went nuts. So anyway, check it out. It's a great movie. So thanks again, everybody, for listening to this episode of the Print on Demand cast. As I said at the top of the show, wherever you're listening to this, if you do us a favor, you can like it, you can share it, you can subscribe, you can post it to Facebook. I think last year in our Spotify Wrapped, the number one way that the show was shared was actually through text message, which is wild to me, but do it. Send this to someone that you think would benefit from this information, and we're greatly appreciative of that. Primarily, again, just because we want to let everyone know that we're here, that the show is here, and that this information can help them in their business, regardless of what stage they are in their print-on-demand business. So please be sure to do that. You can also follow us on social media. You can follow us on Facebook. printondemandcast.com/Facebook is where you can go to join the group, answer the questions. If you don't answer the questions, we won't let you in because we might think you're a spam bot or you just like to collect Facebook groups. And that sounds crazy, but it actually happens and it makes no sense to me. So answer the questions just so we know that you're real. You can follow us on Instagram, printondemandcast.com/Instagram, and then /YouTube as well, as where you can go find these episodes in video form, or you can watch it on Spotify as well, because we're actually on video on Spotify at the same time. If you don't do social media or anything like that, you can email us, info@printondemandcast.com is where you can go to shoot us a line. Let us know if you have any questions. Let us know if you have an example of how you were able to leverage one of these buying psychologies, or a success story that has to do with one of these types of customers and something you did to kind of, foster that loyalty. Let us know. We'd love to hear those stories. It would be a great to hear from you guys, and even maybe do like a point of interest on something like that. It would be a good time. So be sure to do that as well. Travis, anything else before we wrap this one up?
I don't think so. Sign up to our newsletter, printondemandcast.com, right there. And you'll get a extra weekly dad joke, as well as some cool things that are going on in the print-on-demand industry.
Yeah, so be sure to do that as well. printondemandcast.com, subscribe to the newsletter, and we will see you again very soon. For Travis, I'm Josiah. We'll see you next time right here on the Print on Demand Cast.
See ya.
Hey, babe. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Print on Demand Cast. We hope you enjoyed the Totally Tubular Show. If you got a question or a suggestion for the show, send Travis and Josiah an email at info@printondemandcast.com. Want to be wicked nice? Take a minute to rate and review the show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to subscribe now so you don't miss next week's episode. See you next time, for sure.